Welcome to the Patricia Show, and this is Patricia. Don't forget to subscribe, push you like it, and share. Share this video with someone who you think might like it. Let's talk about passing your wealth down to your children and stop passing your lack, your poor mindset down to your children. You know, my great grandson, I had bought him some toys and stuff. I think they wanted a VR, I think it's called the VR headset. So I was getting him and his sister one. He asked me how much it costs. I said $300 for each of them. And he really looked at me like as if to say, oh my God, that's so much, And then I asked him if they want something else. She wanted something else. He didn't. So then the next day he called me early in the morning and he said, Nanny, I want, where do you get your money from? So I was like, what is he asking me? Oh, by the way, he's 8 years old. And I was wondering, why is he asking me where I get my money from? And so I said, well, don't worry about it. Nanny, I have money. So I could still feel that something was off with him. So I asked the sister, did she want something else? And she's sick, so she started telling me the other stuff she wanted. He said he didn't want anything. He said, you just bought me something. Because I also had bought him I think it's called a Thomas Train or something. So he said I had already bought him something and he didn't want anything else. So I thought to myself, hey, this kid is too worried about money. You know what I mean? I felt that he didn't want me to buy him anything because he didn't know if I had the money to do so. So he didn't want to keep asking me to to get him things. So I called him back a couple hours later and I asked him, why was he, concerned with my money? And he said that, well, where do you get it from? So I went on to explain to him the different businesses I had. When I got through explaining to him, he was fine because I guess he realized, oh, she really does have the money. So then he started telling me, oh, other things he wanted. He wanted another train set and a hoverboard. He just started telling me then. So I asked my granddaughter, do you talk about, what money that you don't have around them? And she said, oh, yeah. And then sometimes he might ask for something and then she'll tell him, well, I don't have enough for that. And then my daughter, which is his grandmother, she said, well, she do the same thing. Like he'll be there and she'll hear him, he hear them talking that they might not have enough money to buy this or buy that or whatever the case might be. So then this kid at 8 years old is worried about asking me for more toys, thinking that I don't have the money to buy it. And he's not the only kid that does this. I have came across mothers with their children in my counseling sessions that they do the same thing. They're more worried about, do you have the money to buy this for me and all that. So I was talking about this to this guy that I know, and he was saying that he did the same thing when he was a little boy. It was him and his three brothers. His three brothers really didn't care. They would buy stuff, tear their stuff up and stuff. He said, but he didn't. He was always conscious that his parents didn't have the money. So when he bought stuff, when they bought him toys or whatever, he took extra care to take care of them. He said even his clothes he did because he thought his parents didn't have enough money. Now, when you as a parent do that or talk about lack and limitation around your children, what you are doing is programming your children with the mindset of lack. Don't do that. You should want your kids to be prosperous when they grow up and not to have to struggle with money the way you did. You should always program your children where there is an abundance. Always. The thing is that you pass it on, like you pass it on from generation to generation. If you want to start passing on, I hear a lot of people of color say that now that they understand generational wealth, they want to pass that on to their children. But you can't pass it on to your children if you're going to still be talking about lack and what you don't have, and you don't have enough of this, and oh, I can't buy you that. We don't have enough. You don't even have to tell your kids anything like that. You could just say, okay, I'll get it later for you, or something like that. You shouldn't even talk about you don't have enough money for this and that and this and that around your children, because the only thing you are doing is programming them with a mindset of lack, the way yours is. So if you want your children to be prosperous when they grow up, then that's what you should talk about them, prosperous things. So my daughter has started this program. The way I'm, teaching and stuff online, she's following it to implement it in her own life. So at nighttime, she found a tape on YouTube where it just constantly said, she put it on repeat, and it constantly say wealth, 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 wealth. It's like a 5-minute tape somebody made. I thought that was a brilliant idea too. Put it on YouTube, and then she just puts it on, repeat, and then it'll just repeat all night long, wealth, wealth, wealth. So she started playing that at night, and her grandson comes over, and he said, oh, he could hear it all night, and when he woke up in the morning, he started saying that wealth, 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 which is fantastic, because now what she's doing is programming his mind with wealth, programming his mind for a wealth consciousness, not a consciousness of lack. So if you need to do that, do that. Go on YouTube and find, or, wherever you need to go, not just YouTube, but I know this particular one on wealth is on YouTube. And just play it all night as you go to sleep, or play it in your children's room or your grandchildren's room or whatever, wherever you want them to be wealthy and successful. Play it in their room all night long so that they can hear this and get into that wealth consciousness. And most of all, play it for you so that you could come out of the consciousness of lack and go into the consciousness of prosperity and success. Because it's not enough just to have a business and then pass it down to your children, because if your children or grandchildren have a mind of lack, they're going to end up losing the business anyway. Something will end up going wrong, and and then they financially will not be able to hold on to the business. So they have to have a wealth consciousness. So start when they're young, giving them or teaching them to have a wealth consciousness. And that way, when they get older, they'll have it. But if you start when they're young, by the time they're 8, they'll have, or before then, they'll have a wealth consciousness. And they won't think anything but wealth. And when you have a wealth consciousness, what happens? You're going to always produce wealth. When you have a consciousness of poor mindset, what happens? You're going to constantly produce bills and, bills and limitation of money and all of that when you have a poor mindset. So, and a lot of people might not think of this, and some of you might just be working on your own mindset to have a wealth mindset, but you're not even thinking or worried, working on your children at all, or not even thinking about your children mindset. You want everybody you want to start with you, obviously, but then you want everybody in the house to have a wealth mindset. If there's adults in there and they don't want to, well, that's up to them. That, they don't have to. But if there are minors in the house, everybody should be listening to constant tapes like on wealth, 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 things like that, to program their mind with a wealth consciousness. Teach your children how to invest their money. If you don't know how to invest, learn how to invest so you could teach your children. I just seen a credit card that they had for children. It's new and it's only for kids. And some type of way you could set it up so, like, for instance, if your kids do their chores around their house, then they get an allowance put on the credit card. And then if you want your kids to invest in different things, it shows up or something on the credit card. I'm not 100% sure how the credit card works because I was reading it and I didn't, I don't have any little children, so I didn't get one. I was thinking about getting it for my great grandkids. But anyway, it's a credit card that's for kids, and it teaches them how to invest and how to get, how they're going to get paid for doing their chores, and just teach them about being responsible with money. And then obviously you could set something like a goal, where like maybe they'll make $100 for the month is out. This is just hypothetically. And then they have little chores that you can give them to do. And each chore, they'll get money for it. And when they reach $100, that's their goal. So that's really teaching them about money, how to be disciplined, and keep focused on when they want something to be focused. So to get it. I think it's a really good idea if parents get it and use it correctly. And that will also help them establish a wealth mindset. Okay. All right. So let's keep that wealth mindset going with you and your children. If you don't make the money to pass on to generation to generation, at least pass on a wealthy mindset, so that can go to your children, to your children's children, and your children's children. Because people that's born rich, they have a wealth mindset. When they come out, their parents is teaching them to have a wealth mindset. And that goes on from generation to generation. They don't just get the big bucks, they get the wealth mindset too, which lasts forever. And it just passes on throughout generations in the family. So let's have a goal to do that. Thank you so much for listening to The Patricia Show. Have a good day.